In this episode, I'm going to teach you 4 different methods of finding profitable products to sell on Amazon, Shopify, eBay, Etsy, basically anywhere products are sold. And these are methods that I personally use to make over $1 million selling on my online store over at bumblebeelinens.com. What's up everyone? My name is Steve Chu and I run 2 7-figure businesses over at bumblebeelinens.com selling handkerchiefs and my e-commerce blog over at mywifequitherjob.com. I'm also the author of the Wall Street Journal best-selling book, The Family First Entrepreneur. Now, when I first got started in e-commerce back in 2007, my product research strategy was basically haphazardly looking for products to sell. My wife and I would go to a trade show, look around, and just pick and choose what we thought were great products to sell online. But there were no rules and no real criteria for our choices. And as a result, we often had products that didn't sell well, which sat on our shelves at our warehouse gathering dust. Now, having unsold inventory sucks, but we learned our lesson, and today we use a bunch of tools to conduct product research the right way to ensure that this never happens again. This is what I'm going to teach you guys today. You will learn how to use various software tools to evaluate profitable products so that you are confident your products will sell before you make a large upfront investment on inventory. Now, this first method for product research involves Amazon and a tool called Jungle Scout. Now, it is a well-known fact that Amazon has over a 50% market share in e-commerce, and they are the biggest player in the United States by a landslide. The next closest competitor is Walmart at only 6.3%. And as a result, if you want to know what products to sell online, it makes sense to look at what's selling on the Amazon marketplace first. Now, Jungle Scout is a tool that scrapes all the listings on Amazon and tells you approximately how much each seller is making online. For example, if I want to know how much money each Amazon listing selling garlic presses is making on a monthly basis, all I have to do is type in garlic presses in Amazon search, hit the Jungle Scout button, and the tool will tell me the number of units sold, the revenue, the listing price, everything. And as you can see here, this seller is making over $18,000 a month alone selling garlic presses. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you sign up for my free 6-day e-commerce mini course below. Now, Amazon doesn't publish this data online, so how does Jungle Scout work exactly? Well, every product listing on Amazon has what is called a BSR, which stands for bestseller rank, which is a relative measure of how well a product is selling on Amazon. And because Jungle Scout has a huge database of real Amazon sellers and their actual sales data, they can correlate that data on the back end with the BSR ratings on Amazon. And as a result, based on the BSR ranking of a product, they can interpolate and make a pretty good approximation of how much money that listing is making, and it's fairly accurate. So if you're thinking about selling a product and you want to know if it's a good idea, then just type it in on Amazon search, run Jungle Scout, and see how well that product is selling for the last 30 days. And as you are doing your research, you want to sell a product that has high demand and low seller competition. So here's what you should look for. Whenever I perform this exercise, I like to see an even distribution of revenue across the sellers on the front page of Amazon search. After all, the last thing that you want to do is to sell a product where one seller or brand is dominating all the sales. After all, if you decide to sell your own version of that product under your own brand, you want to know that there's plenty of space left for a new player in the market. I also like to look for a low number of reviews across all the listings, preferably in the low hundreds or less. Now, why do reviews matter? It's because the number of reviews on an Amazon listing is directly correlated to the strength of that listing. If a product listing has over 1,000 reviews, for example, well, that means it's going to be well entrenched in the Amazon rankings. Now, if you can find a product that has good demand, an even distribution of revenue across the sellers with a low number of reviews, then that makes it a viable option to sell on Amazon. Just make sure that you have a solid value proposition for your product before you start sourcing it. But what if you can't think of anything to sell? This process also works in reverse. Now remember, Jungle Scout also provides a searchable database of every single product that is listed on Amazon. As a result, you can use the Opportunity Finder tool from Jungle Scout to have the tool return to you a product that matches your revenue criteria. So basically, you can just ask Jungle Scout for a good product to sell. So for example, let's say I want a product that generates at least $5,000 a month with less than 200 reviews. Well, you can conduct a search on Jungle Scout with these exact parameters, and the tool will output a bunch of product searches that match your criteria. So if you're having problems finding a good product on your own, you can use Jungle Scout to actually brainstorm products for you from a database of millions of products with real data from Amazon. By the way, if you're interested in trying Jungle Scout, there is a 30% off coupon in the show notes below. Now, another great way to find a profitable product to sell online is by analyzing what people are searching for on Google. Now remember, Amazon only owns 50% of e-commerce, and the remaining 50% is dominated by Google and other marketplaces. Now the key is to find out what products people are searching for online using Google, and in order to figure that out, you must use a Google keyword tool like Ahrefs. Ahrefs is a tool that tells you how many searches per month are conducted for a given keyword on Google, and it also tells you how hard it is to rank for that keyword. For example, if I want to know how many people are searching for dog harnesses online, Ahrefs tells me that over 59,000 people are searching for dog harnesses every single month. Ahrefs also provides me with other related keyword searches as well. For example, 13,000 people are looking for dog harness no pull. Anyway, you get the picture. By looking at the search volume for the products that you want to sell, you can make sure that people are actually looking for that product that you want to sell. And to gauge the size of the market and the potential revenue, you can take the search volume, multiply it by 37%, which is the amount of traffic you might get if you have the #1 spot on Google, and then multiply that number by 2%, which is the average conversion rate for an e-commerce store. Do this for every keyword that applies to the product you want to sell, and then add up all the numbers. This number will be your revenue potential for that product. But just be aware that some searches on Google are for information and not for shopping. For example, if you see a search term like dog harness installation, well, that means that people are looking for a tutorial and not a product to buy. Now, the next obvious place to find profitable products to sell is on eBay. Now, even though eBay doesn't have a huge market share in the e-commerce space at only 3.5%, what eBay does have going for it is precise data. Every transaction on eBay is recorded and available to the public. And as a result, by browsing eBay data, you can know exactly how much money a product is making on the platform. Note that this is completely different than what a tool like Jungle Scout provides with Amazon. Jungle Scout only provides approximate numbers that are extrapolated from real data, whereas eBay numbers are exact. So how do you browse eBay efficiently in order to brainstorm products to sell? Well, the best way is to use a tool like Zikanalytics. Now, similar to Jungle Scout, Zikanalytics is a tool that scrapes all the eBay listings for both completed and non-completed listings and gives you a nice interface to browse the data. Now, what's nice about Zikanalytics, once again, is that the data is accurate and represents real sales on eBay. Zik also provides a cool feature where you can look at the hot categories on eBay where most people are buying. And then from there, you can push down further to see the hot selling products on eBay for a given category. Now, the most useful metric that Zikanalytics offers is a metric called the successful listings percentage. The successful listings percentage is the percentage of listings on the front page of eBay for a particular product that has sold at least one item. Basically, this is a good measure of whether you'll actually make a sale on eBay if you list that product. In fact, I like to see a successful listings percentage of at least 33%, which basically means that if I were to list the product, then it would sell at least a third of the time. Now, this number is also important if you end up not being able to sell your product on your own website or on Amazon, because a high successful listing percentage means that you can always liquidate unsold inventory on eBay if it ever gets to that point. But remember, eBay is an auction-based platform where not all auctions end in a sold completed listing. What you're looking for here is confidence that if you were to list that exact same product on eBay, that it would sell at a high percentage. But note that just because something sells on eBay doesn't necessarily mean that it's sold at a good price where you are actually making a profit. You also have to look at the pricing for the products being sold on eBay during your research to determine whether it's worth selling that product based on demand and profit. Zik also provides you with information on how many listings or sellers there are for any product, the total number of sold items in the last 30 days, and the average selling price. Now, with this information, you can then look on Alibaba or just ask your supplier to see if your profit margins make sense to source and sell that product online. Now, if you're on a major budget, there's actually another tool for eBay called Terapeak that is 100% free when you join eBay. Now, a long time ago, Terapeak used to cost money, and it was essentially what Zikanalytics is today. But then eBay acquired Terapeak and basically stripped it of many of its useful features. Now, that being said, Terapeak is still useful for getting sales numbers for some broad-based products on eBay. Now, if you want to give Terapeak a try, just look for it on the Research tab of your eBay Seller Hub. Then just type in what you're researching into the search bar. Use the filters to refine your search, and Terapeak will give you the average selling price, the total number of units sold, the total sales revenue, and the sell-through rate. However, Terapeak will not give you data to the same level of granularity as Zikanalytics. Instead, Terapeak only provides aggregate data for a given search term and does not do a great job of giving you data for individual products. Also, it's not going to tell you what the hot categories are either, but you can't really complain because the tool is free. So let's put this all together now. Use Jungle Scout to research products that are selling well on Amazon with high demand and low competition. Then take those exact same keywords and check if people are searching for those products on Google. And then finally check Zikanalytics and or Terapeak if you're on a budget, and make sure the sell-through rate of that product is at least 33% on eBay. If you do those 3 steps, you'll find a profitable product to sell. And in the event that your product doesn't sell as well as you were expecting, you can always liquidate it on eBay. Now that you know how to search profitable products to sell, watch this video here to learn how to find a great supplier to source your products from.